Hey guys, my name is Neel and welcome to Neel Workshop Zone. So in this episode, we're going to be talking about the types of elements in a periodic table. So in our previous episode, we talked about atoms, elements, and what a molecule, compound. So let's do a little recap. So what is a molecule? When two elements are mixed together, it makes a molecule. For example, hydrogen plus hydrogen is equals to hydrogen H2, which is a molecule. Now, if that's the case, then what is the difference between molecule and compound? Because both of the formulas are the same. The difference is, if two solid elements are mixed together, it is known as a compound. So, for example, if you mix two iron, you get Fe2. So that is a compound. So that is the difference between molecule and compound. This process is known as valency. So in this episode, we're going to talk about the types of elements. Okay, so first let's talk about alkali metals. So there are different types of elements, and first let's talk about alkali metals. So as you can see here, alkali metals are yellow in color in this photo. So alkali metals are capable of neutralizing acids when mixed with water. They are ductile, they are durable, they are good conductors of heat and electricity, and they are not easily found in nature, and they have high density, high melting points, and high boiling points. For example, lithium, sodium, calcium, etc. Not calcium but potassium, etc. So now let's talk about alkaline earth metals. So I can see here, alkaline earth metals are brown in color. So alkaline earth metals they are silvery, they are shiny, they also have a low boiling and low melting point and low density, but they can be easily found in nature. So for example, we have beryllium, magnesium, calcium, etc. So now let's talk about land types. So lantites, as you can see here, are violet in color. So lantites are, they have a high melting point. They are somewhat reactive. So for example, you have iodine, cerium, etc. I think those are some examples of lantites. So now let's talk about austenites, which are red in color. So austenites are really radioactive, and boiling water and dilute acid to create hydrogen gas. So they are really radioactive. They are used in mostly energy sources like actinium, thorium, etc. So now let's talk about transition metals. So transition metals, which you can see here, are green in color. They are good conductors of heat and electricity. They are malleable and ductile. They are somewhat softer compared to other metals. They can be bent into any shape. They have high density such as mercury, which is liquid at normal temperature. They are overall used in a lot of things. So, for example, you have iron, copper, nickel, etc. So now let's talk about post-transition metals, which are gray in color. So post-transition metals are like transition metals, but they are that much different. The difference is these are somewhat lower in density, and they are somewhat softer, brittle. So for example, you have aluminium, tin, lead, etc. So now let's talk about metalloids. As you can see here, they are pink in color, lightish pink. So metalloids are basically metals and non-metals, right? They have both the characteristics of metals and non-metals. So boron, silicon, etc. So then you have halogens, which are cyan in color. So halogens are used, they're really radioactive, and they're also used in energy sources. So, halogens are cyan in color. They're electromagnetic and radioactive. For example, bromine, ceramine, etc. So finally we have noble gases. Now noble gases are odorless and colorless. They have a high density, high density, low boiling point, etc. Example, you have something like argon, krypton, xenon, etc. So those are some examples of noble gases. Now we also have other like other non-metals. We aren't talking about them that much, like nitrogen, etc. Because they also have some characteristics of all these metals, but they're so much different that they're not in any of those types of periodic table of elements. So yeah, this is the types of elements in the periodic table. So hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss out any new videos. And that's all folks, and see you in the next one. Bye bye.